So what if, instead of just building bigger, stronger walls to defend your network, you could actually set clever traps for the hackers themselves? Turn the tables on them, make them show you their playbook. Well, that's exactly what we're talking about today. We are diving into the world of deception technology, which is basically the art of setting digital traps to catch attackers in the act. Here's what we've got on tap. We're going to start with the whole idea of turning the tables on attackers, then get into the art of deception itself. After that, we'll break down the specific traps: honeypots, honeyfiles, and honeytokens. And to wrap it all up, we'll talk about how you choose the right trap for the right situation. Sound good? Let's jump in. Okay, first up, turning the tables on hackers. Look, in cybersecurity, it always feels like we're on the defensive, right? Just waiting around for the next attack to happen. But what if we could just flip that whole script? What if we could actually go on the offensive for change? And that really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? Attackers are smart, they're persistent, and they're always coming up with new tricks. So to really get ahead of them, you can't just react to what they do. You've got to start thinking like they do, anticipating their moves, and maybe, just maybe, setting a few traps of your own. And this gets to the absolute core of the problem. If you're always just reacting, you are always going to be one step behind. It means you're just waiting for an alarm to go off after the bad guys are already inside. You're playing their game on their turf. And worse, you lose this golden opportunity to actually learn about them before they can do any real damage. So, how do we get proactive? Well, this is where the fun begins. This is where we stop being the hunted and we become the hunter. We are now entering the art of deception. And forget about building higher walls. We're going to build a tricky maze, and we're going to fill it with all sorts of shiny, irresistible, and totally fake treasures. At its heart, deception technology is all about playing mind games with attackers. The idea is simple, but it's powerful. First, you lure them away from your real stuff, your critical data, your important servers, and you guide them into a controlled environment that you own. And second, while they're poking around in your trap, you get to watch every single move. This isn't about stopping just one attack. It's about getting the intel you need to stop the next 10. Okay, let's start with the biggest, most elaborate trap in the arsenal, the honeypot. Think of this like building an entire, fully furnished fake house, complete with a fake safe, just to catch a burglar and see what tools they use. So what exactly is a honeypot? It's a full-blown decoy system. It's built to look, feel, and act just like a real, juicy target on your network. Maybe it's a server that looks like it's running some old, unpatched software, or a database with really obvious weak credentials. The absolute key here is that it's completely isolated from your real network. It's a digital sandbox. So when an attacker takes the bait, you can watch them safely from a distance. Now, here's the most important thing to get about honeypots. Their main goal isn't just to stop an attack. No, they're a research tool. You're trying to figure out an attacker's TTPs, their tactics, techniques, and procedures. This is literally their playbook. What tools are they using? How do they move around a network once they're in? What are they after? Getting that kind of intel is pure gold for your defense. All right, we've seen the big, sprawling decoy system. Now let's zoom way in. Let's talk about something much smaller, much more targeted. Let's talk about using a single piece of bait. A honeypot file is pretty much what it sounds like. It's a digital booby trap disguised as a file. You create a document, you give it a name that no attacker could possibly resist. Something like, CEO_passwords.txt or confidential_mergerplans.docs. And you just leave it somewhere an intruder is likely to snoop. The second that file gets touched, opened, copied, even renamed, bam, all the alarms go off. So you can already see this shift in purpose, right? A honeypot is for long-term study. A honeyfile, that's your instant, high-alert, early warning system. Its only job is to scream for help. I mean, think about it. A file called executive_salaries.xlxs, nobody should be catching that file. Ever. So if it gets accessed, without a shadow of a doubt that you have an intruder on your network right now. Okay, let's get even more precise. We've gone from a whole system down to a single file. Now we're going to get down to the most granular, most sensitive trap of all. A single piece of data that acts like a digital tripwire. This is the Honey token. It is the ultimate stealth detector. We're talking about a fake AWS API key that you hide in your source code, a fake user account in your Active Directory that has no real permissions, maybe a dummy credit card number in a database. These things have zero legitimate purpose. They just sit there, silently. And the moment one of them is used, it is definitive, undeniable proof of a breach. Honey tokens are absolutely brilliant for catching things like insider threats or figuring out how your data might be leaking. Think about it. If you create a fake admin account on a system, no regular employee should ever try to log in with it. So if a login attempt happens, that is a massive red flag. You know immediately someone is trying to escalate their privileges where they shouldn't be. Okay, so there you have it. We've got our 3 traps: the big decoy system, the booby-trapped file, and the sneaky little digital tripwire. Let's put them all side by side and figure out when you'd use each one. This really breaks it down perfectly. If your main goal is to do a deep dive, to really understand your enemy's playbook, you need a honeypot. If you just need a super fast, no false positives alert that someone is snooping around your file server, you plant a Honeyfile. And if you're worried about stolen credentials or insider threats, a Honey token is the perfect surgical tool. It's all about matching the trap to the specific threat you're trying to catch. And that really brings us to the final question, and this one's for you. Now that you know the different tools, from the wide net of a honeypot to the precision tripwire of a honey token, which trap would you actually set first in your own network? It's a really cool way to think, right? It pushes us beyond just building walls and into the mindset of an active threat hunter.